In this lesson, we're going to review slicers as a function within Microsoft Excel. Slicers come in handy after you've created a pivot table and you want to further analyze the data with ease. For example, if you're depending on the results of the pivot table for ongoing analysis, it would be beneficial to set up a dashboard which contained a slicer that enabled the flexibility to view the results of different scenarios. This is because pivot tables only show one scenario based on what you've pivoted for. But if you want to show the results of multiple scenarios for a given data set, slicers can come in handy. Let's scroll down and see what slicers look like before we jump into an example. So as you can see on screen here, we've got a couple of slicers that we've created for product and location. These are located right beside the pivot table that we created for the sales report. If I were to click on one of the products like nails, it filters the pivot table for just that information. If I were to click on hammer, it switches to hammer. If I were to click on the location for Midwest, it switches to Midwest. I can also multi-select by clicking the button above it, and it gives me the opportunity to click Midwest and North. So as you can see, slicers are pretty useful. Let's take a look at how we can create slicers in Microsoft Excel. So the first step is to click anywhere in the pivot table report that we want to create a slicer for. Then we would click on the PivotTable Analyze button in the top ribbon and then click on Insert Slicer. Then we just need to tick the field that we want to show on the slicer. When the slicer is open, there's an option to multi-select different slicers and then clear the filters. So let's take a look at an example. Using the below data set for Quest Departmental Store, we have a sales report that we want to create a pivot table for and then slicers. We want to do this so that we can easily filter on and off different products and locations to determine the resulting product sales. So as you can see, starting in row 33, we have a pivot table and the two slicers, and I'm going to go ahead and clear the filters for them. But if we wanted to create this from scratch, what I would do is I would select the entire data table, starting in row 49 and ending in row 541. And then what I would do is I would click on Insert in the top ribbon, then Pivot Table, choose where you want the pivot table to be reported, and I would select Existing Worksheet, select a location, press OK. The pivot table appears, and in this case, in order to get the pivot table to appear in the format in which it appears in columns C and D, I would put the product in the rows and then the amount in the values, and I now have my pivot table. And if I want to create slicers for that, the only thing I need to do is go to the PivotTable Analyze section of the top ribbon and then click on Insert Slicer, and I have the opportunity to create multiple slicers, which are really all of the headers of the columns that exist within the sales report. So in this case, I want to create a product and location slicer and press OK. And those appear, and I can drag them wherever I want. And if I want to just filter for a certain product, I can do that. Let's say safety plugs. And then if I want to filter for a specific location, I can do that as well. Let's say the Midwest, and it'll filter the results accordingly. I could multi-select products and locations by clicking on the multi-select icon, and it'll filter the pivots accordingly. And if I click the Remove Filter button, it removes all the filters and all of the products and locations are applied. So as you can see, slicers are a great way to be able to quickly analyze data when you have a pivot table set up and you want to create a dashboard within Microsoft Excel. Hey guys, thanks for watching this lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, I'd really appreciate a like and subscribe from you. And if you want to learn more about Microsoft Excel, check out these videos above. And don't forget to check out our website, commercecurve.com, where we have lots of in-depth finance and accounting courses available with full training workbooks. All of our courses come with complete workbooks of lessons, examples, pre-built financial models, and training video. Hope to see you there.